Business flyers often think that it doesn't matter what plane they get on as long as it gets them to their destination. But frequent flyers know that the airline, seat class, even the plane they fly on can make a big difference in the comfort and quality of their flight. Remember, the points redemption is usually the same for the class of fare on the flight segment, regardless of whether it's on a 10-year-old A320 or a brand new Dreamliner, so you could be getting a lot less value for your points if you don't check into it. On the other hand, you could end up finding killer deals on premium flight experiences if you do your homework. In today's video, I'll talk about what to look for and where to find it when you want to pick the most baller seats for your money and your points in 3 easy steps. The first step is that when you're booking, look for the kind of plane you'll be flying on. Again, most people don't give a shit. If it gets them from point A to point B, who cares? That said, whenever you're browsing on a list of flight options on the websites of United, Avianca, Singapore, whoever, there's usually a more info or flight details button beneath each flight entry that you can click to expand, and you will find the plane they intend to use on that flight. This is how I discovered on planning a trip from Austin to San Francisco that American Airlines was using basic short-haul Boeing 737s for most of their routes on that service, but for one service, they were using a 787 Dreamliner, one of their big, beautiful long-haul airliners with 353 two-aisle layouts in economy and private compartments and lie-flat seats in business class. It was back stateside for upgrades, and they were using it for their domestic service. It was more than worth it for me to pay double points for business class on that flight because it was a much better business class seat than a 737 for the same amount of points. Bear in mind that sometimes airlines do change the plane of operation, so look for emails or check your flight status if you were worried. But I showed up, and sure enough, there was a big, beautiful Dreamliner with a sexy seat and champagne waiting for me. Let's do a wham bam thank you ma'am review of what planes to look for. Your bread and butter domestic planes are Boeing 737s and Airbus A320s. When we get to long-haul planes, the Boeing 767 and Airbus A340 are older models, less likely to be updated. Boeing 777s and Airbus A330s are the newer, more efficient long-haul planes. Boeing 787 Dreamliners and Airbus A350s are a step up from that. And then there's the Airbus A380, a double-decker whale of a plane that was embraced by luxury airlines for creating some of the most opulent first-class experiences in the air. Emirates, Etihad, Qantas, British Airways, designing apartments in the sky for people who have fuck you money. Or if you're a travel punk, fuck you points. A380s are baller, but you're going to see less of them. The Supreme jackets of the sky, they were so baller that they were unsustainable, and Airbus has announced that they won't be making any more of them. But the ones they did make will still be in service for years, so if you find one, jump on it. You may have heard of the Boeing 747, the most famous jetliner model in the world. Far from being a slightly bigger brother to the 737, it's actually the original mammoth double-decker jet plane, bigger than the 777. But it's discontinued and they're being taken out of service, so if you happen to find one, book it for the nostalgia and the plane geekery, not for the upgraded luxury seats. Okay, on to step number 2. Do a Google image search of the fare class in the airline. For example, search ANA First Class Boeing 777 or Turkish Airlines Business Class Airbus A330. You'll get a good idea of what kind of product you're going to be getting from the pictures. You may also find online reviews to be helpful, but they won't necessarily tell you the level of upgrades available on your flight. So let's move on to step 3. Check your flight on SeatGuru.com. SeatGuru is a website where you can enter the flight date and flight number for any airline and get the seating chart. From that seating chart, you can tell, for example, if you're getting the private upgraded Polaris seats on your United 787 flight or the less private 222 older configuration. As a bonus 4th step, you can also sign up for a paid account at expertflyer.com. If you have a specific award you want to book, say for rare awards like Singapore Airlines Suites or one of Etihad's first class apartment seats, You can set alerts for when these rare awards become bookable, and then you can jump on it. Remember, being a travel punk is about squeezing the most value out of your points and paying attention to the plane, class of service, and level of upgrades is some next level shit in your travel punk's journey. Was this helpful? Was it? Leave a comment, ask some questions, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that damn bell for alerts. Your very life could hang in the balance.